What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some Red Flag for the first time in a while. Once again, big thank you to Herman, who provided their material a couple years ago. But I recently found a full copy of Naive Art, their album from 1989, online, and in investigating, I discovered I never reacted to one of the tracks, and in fact, in this copy I found, there's like 3 remixes or additional versions of tunes I've already reacted to, as well as a couple that I haven't. And one of the 2 tracks that I haven't reacted to on the proper album is Pretty in Pity, which is an interesting phrase. I don't quite know what to make of it. Obviously, the words themselves are clear enough. Pretty is to be beautiful or alluring in some way. Now, that might not strictly be physical or superficial, though it is often meant in a visual way. But then pity, to be in pity is perhaps, to be in a pitiful condition and for others to view you with pity, or maybe you're self-pitying in the moment. So yeah, the idea of being pretty in pity, it has a nice syllabic or alliterative quality, certainly, but it also is an interesting thought conceptually. Let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Red Flag. The tune is Pretty in Pity, and it's from their 1989 album Naive Art.
I confess. Isn't it a pity? Isn't it a pity? I confess. Moving to the soothing sound of machinery. Now you are here to me, my love, some beauty. Pictures move in circles, projecting you near to me. Now you are here to be, my love, some beauty. Isn't it a pity? Gorgeous and pretty. Isn't it a pity? I protest, you see, our love is deeper than stingy beauty. There's something here I confess. You shine, the words rhyme, and all the time you are mine. And like a silent movie, it's not what you have to say, it's just that you're here to stay. My love, some beauty. Isn't it a pity? Gorgeous and pretty. Isn't it a pity? I protest, you see, our love is deeper than stingy beauty. There's something here I confess. I confess.
rhythmically had a sense of what that was doing at the end there. So again, and I probably said this for most of the previous red flag reactions. I think there was like 10 that I went through. But yeah, I probably said this in like 8 or 9 of them. But again, I hear like mid-80s Depeche Mode when I hear this. I hear like Construction Time Again, Some Great Reward era Depeche Mode. And that's a very good thing. Again, people who know me and my history with Depeche Mode will be aware that is a huge compliment when I say that. But yeah, it kind of has that like, not super dark, but a bit dark and mysterious. There's some industrial type sounds, metallic sounds, heavy percussive rhythms, and the overall feeling is a bit cold. So again, it reminds me, as I said, of something from like Construction Time Again or Some Great Reward. And yeah, lyrically, I'm not quite sure like the full scope here, but I would say like he sounds like he's saying like, most directly or specifically or explicitly that there's something deep to their connection, to their love. It's not just superficial and like skin deep pretty, but also it sounds like there is something to be pitied. There is some difficulty or bad feeling. So, maybe there's an obstacle standing in their way, or maybe the narrator is his own obstacle in terms of like feeling that there's something pitiful, even as he suggests there is something there, something significant. So yeah, it's one I'll have to listen to again and digest. Do let me know if you have any insights. But yeah, again, this group is one I had never heard of. Once again, shout out to Herman, who not only introduced me to Red Flag, but also Anything Box, 2 groups that I definitely would have enjoyed had I heard back in the 80s as a kid, or leading into the early 90s, but which I never did. And who also, brought more information society to my attention, where I knew one track from them, and I've enjoyed hearing more from them. So, yeah, it's cool to hear some groups that are, like, very much in the vein of synth pop that I fell in love with as a kid, but who perhaps were not as successful or is not as internationally known, but who made some really cool tunes that it's enjoyable to go through now. So, as I said, there's one more, I think, regular track from the album, For Michelle, like For Elise, Beethoven, but For Michelle, that I haven't reacted to as far as I know. And then there's like 3 remixes of some tunes that I did already react to. So for the foreseeable future, we've got a little more Red Flag to go through, and then we'll see what we can do after that. Once again, shout out to Herman. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.